Hey everyone, and welcome back to Story-Driven English. Do you dream of golden sands, the sound of gentle waves, and the warmth of the summer sun? Well, me too. But what happens when your perfect day at the beach isn't quite so perfect? What? If it's filled with sandy sandwiches, runaway umbrellas, and a dog with a mind of its own? Today, we're diving into exactly that kind of day. Get ready for A Day at the Beach, a story packed with fun, a few mishaps, and lots of useful English vocabulary. If you're ready to improve your English while enjoying a great story, you're in the right place. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our one-story adventures. All right, let's get started. A Day at the Beach. The first ray of sunshine wasn't just a ray of sunshine. It was a golden invitation. It peeked through Alex's curtains, danced on the tip of Alex's nose, and whispered, "Beach Day." Alex's eyes snapped open. It was Saturday, the best day of the week, and today it was destined to be the best Saturday of the month, possibly the year. Why? Because today was Beach Day. Alex leaped out of bed, a maneuver usually reserved for situations involving spiders or the smell of burning toast. A quick glance out the window confirmed it. The sky was a brilliant, cloudless blue. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The kind of perfect that makes you want to sing, even if you, like Alex, sounded a bit like a cat stuck in a drain pipe. First things first, coffee. No adventure, especially one involving sand and potential sunburn, could begin without coffee. While the kettle rumbled and hissed, Alex started the mental checklist. Swimsuit. Check, in the bright yellow one that screamed, "Look at me, I'm having fun." Towel? Check. The enormous fluffy one that could double as a small tent. Sunscreen? Check, check, and triple check. Alex had learned that lesson the hard way last summer, returning from the beach looking like a cooked lobster. The aroma of coffee filled the small kitchen, a comforting, energizing smell. As Alex sipped the hot brew, the excitement bubbled up. The beach, the thought of salty air, the cool caress of the ocean, and the feeling of warm sand between the toes was almost too much to bear. But before the blissful escape, there was the packing. Oh, the packing. It always started so simply: swimsuit, towel, sunscreen. Then the just-in-case items began to creep in. A book, just in case Alex wanted to relax. A frisbee, just in case Alex felt energetic. A large bottle of water, essential. Snacks, even more essential. A change of clothes, just in case of, well, anything. Then came the biggest challenge, the beach umbrella. This umbrella was less of an accessory and more of a nemesis. It was huge, striped in cheerful blue and white, but it had a personality, a stubborn, uncooperative personality. Every time Alex tried to fold it neatly, one of its metal arms would spring out, threatening to poke an eye or snag a curtain. After a brief wrestling match, which Alex narrowly won, the umbrella was subdued and added to the growing pile by the door. The final, and arguably most important item, was Buster. Buster was Alex's dog, a scruffy terrier mix with boundless energy and an optimistic outlook on life that Alex often envied. Buster loved the beach. The mere mention of the word beach would send him into a frenzy of tail wagging and excited yelps. "All right, Buster," Alex said, grabbing the leash. "Ready for an adventure?" Buster responded by spinning in a circle and letting out a series of happy barks, as if to say, "Ready? I was born ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go." The car ride was filled with anticipation. Alex sang along to the radio, volume turned up high, windows rolled down. The wind whipped through Alex's hair, carrying the faint, tantalizing scent of salt from miles away. Buster in the passenger seat, safely buckled in, of course, had his head out the window, ears flapping, a look of pure doggy bliss on his furry face. They passed familiar streets, then less familiar ones, until finally the landscape began to change. Houses gave way to coastal shrubs and the air grew noticeably cooler and saltier. And then, there it was, the first glimpse of the ocean, a sparkling expanse of blue stretching out to meet the sky. Alex's heart did a little flip. "We're here, Buster. We're almost here." Finding a parking spot was the first mini-adventure. The beach was popular, especially on a day as beautiful as this. Cars were crammed into every available space. Alex circled the parking lot once, then twice, a small frown starting to form. Was the perfect day going to be ruined by parking woes? No. Alex was determined. On the third loop, a miracle. A car, lights flashing, pulled out from a prime spot near the beach entrance. Alex swooped in, a triumphant grin spreading across their face. Score! Unloading the car was like a carefully choreographed dance, if the choreographer was slightly clumsy and had too many props. Alex juggled the cooler, the beach bag bulging with towels and snacks, the folded-up chair, and the dreaded umbrella. Buster, meanwhile, tugged eagerly on his leash, whining with impatience. He could smell the sea, hear the waves, and was desperate to investigate. Finally, with everything precariously balanced, they made their way onto the sand. The feeling was instantaneous. The soft give of the sand underfoot, the warm sun on Alex's skin, the rhythmic shush of the waves. This was it, paradise. Now to find the perfect spot. This was a critical decision. Not too close to the water, or the incoming tide would claim their belongings. Not too far, or the walk to the ocean would feel like a desert trek. Not too close to the boisterous family with 10 children and a giant inflatable flamingo, and not too near the teenagers blasting questionable music from a portable speaker. Alex scanned the beach like a general surveying a battlefield. There, a relatively empty patch offering a good view and a reasonable distance from potential disturbances. "This is it, Buster," Alex declared. "Our kingdom for the day." Setting. Up camp was the next hurdle, primarily involving the aforementioned umbrella. Alex unstrapped it. It sprang open with surprising force, nearly sending Alex tumbling backward. With a grunt, Alex tried to anchor it in the sand. The wind, which had seemed like a gentle breeze moments before, suddenly decided to play. It caught, the umbrella like a sail, threatening to send it cartwheeling down the beach. Alex wrestled with it, sand flying, muttering under their breath. A nearby sunbather, an elderly woman with a kind smile and a very large hat, watched with amusement. "Having a bit of trouble there, dear?" she called out. "Just a little." Alex grunted, finally managing to twist the pole deep enough into the sand. The umbrella stood, a beacon of blue and white, defiant against the breeze. For now. With the base established, Alex spread out the big fluffy towel, arranged the chair, and applied a liberal layer of sunscreen. The smell of coconut and pineapple filled the air, the official scent of summer. Buster, released from his leash, after a quick scan for any "no dogs allowed" signs, of which there were none, immediately began to explore. He sniffed at a discarded seashell, chased a tiny crab sideways into its hole, and then, with a joyful bark, sprinted towards the water's edge. Alex watched him, a smile playing on their lips. Time for the first dip. Shedding a t-shirt and shorts to reveal the bright yellow swimsuit, Alex took a deep breath and walked towards the ocean. The sand grew cooler, wetter, as the waterline approached. The first wave lapped at Alex's ankles. Cold, surprisingly cold. Alex hesitated for a moment, then, with a determined little yelp, plunged in. The initial shock of the cold water quickly gave way to refreshing coolness. The waves were gentle today, rolling in with a soft sigh. Alex waded out until the water was waist-deep, then ducked under a wave, emerging with a gasp and a splatter of salty water. It was glorious. Buster was already in his element, paddling enthusiastically, occasionally trying to bite the small whitecaps. After a good swim, Alex waded back to shore, feeling invigorated and wonderfully alive. The sun felt warm and welcoming on wet skin. Dripping, Alex flopped onto the towel, letting out a contented sigh. This was the life. Buster, equally wet and happy, shook himself vigorously, sending a spray of cold water all over Alex. "Hey! Thanks for that, buddy," Alex laughed, toweling off. The next hour or so was spent in blissful relaxation. Alex lay back on the towel, eyes closed, listening to the symphony of the beach, the rhythmic crash of waves, the distant cries of seagulls, the happy chatter of children playing nearby, the soft rustle of the wind in the umbrella. Occasionally, Alex would open one eye to watch the world go by. There were families building intricate sandcastles, couples strolling hand in hand along the water's edge, surfers patiently waiting for the perfect wave that probably wouldn't come on such a calm day. It was all so peaceful, so idyllic. Alex reached for the book, a thrilling mystery novel. The plan was to get lost in its pages. However, the beach had other ideas. Just as the detective was about to reveal a crucial clue, a shadow fell over the page. Alex looked up. A seagull. A rather large, bold-looking seagull was eyeing Alex's beach bag with unnerving intensity. "Shoo," Alex said, waving a hand. The seagull hopped back a few paces but didn't leave. It tilted its head, its beady eyes fixed on the bag. Alex had a feeling this was not going to end well. Remembering the snacks packed earlier, Alex decided it was probably lunchtime anyway. From the cooler, Alex extracted a carefully wrapped sandwich, tuna salad, a beach day classic, and a bottle of juice. Buster, whose internal clock was perfectly synchronized with Alex's mealtimes, trotted over, tail wagging hopefully. All right, Alex chuckled, breaking off a small piece of the crust for Buster, who gobbled it down gratefully. Alex took a bite of the sandwich. Delicious. The fresh sea air always made food taste better. Another bite. Just as Alex was, savoring the mix of tuna, mayonnaise, and slightly gritty bread, because, let's face it, sand gets everywhere at the beach, the seagull made its move. With a sudden dive and a surprisingly accurate peck, it snatched a large chunk of the sandwich right out of Alex's hand and flew off, squawking triumphantly. Alex stared, open-mouthed, at the remaining mangled portion of the sandwich. "Well, I never," Buster barked indignantly at the retreating feathered thief, as if to say, "That was our sandwich." The elderly lady with the big hat chuckled. "Cheeky blighters, aren't they?" Alex couldn't help but laugh. It was annoying, yes, but also kind of funny. "You're telling me he didn't even leave a tip?" Resigned, Alex finished the sad remains of the sandwich, making sure to guard it fiercely from any other opportunistic birds. The afternoon wore on. The sun climbed higher, beating down with a pleasant warmth. Alex decided to try out the frisbee. Buster, it turned out, was an excellent frisbee catcher, or at least an enthusiastic one. He leapt and bounded, sometimes catching it mid-air with impressive agility, other times completely misjudging its trajectory and tumbling head over paws in the soft sand. Each successful catch was celebrated with a victory lap, frisbee held proudly in his mouth. Between throws, Alex tried to build a sandcastle. It started with grand ambitions: towering turrets, a wide moat, intricate shell decorations. The reality was a slightly lopsided mound with a few random shells stuck in it. Buster tried to help by digging enthusiastically right where Alex was, trying to build a wall, sending sand flying and undermining the delicate foundations. "Buster, you're not helping," Alex exclaimed. But there was no real anger in the voice. The lopsided castle, in its own way, was perfect. It was their castle, a testament to a fun, slightly chaotic afternoon. Eventually, the heat and activity started to take their toll. Alex felt a pleasant drowsiness creep in. Time for another swim to cool off. This time Alex ventured a bit further out, enjoying the gentle rocking of the deeper water. Floating on their back, looking up at the vast blue sky, Alex felt a profound sense of peace. All the worries and stresses of the week seemed to melt away, carried off by the tide. As Alex was drying off, a new sound joined the beach symphony: the jingle-jangle of an ice cream cart. "Ice cream! Get your ice cream!" called the vendor, pushing his cart slowly along the edge of the sand. Alex's eyes lit up. Buster's ears perked up. Ice cream was non-negotiable on a beach day. Alex fumbled in the beach bag for some money and hurried over to the cart. The choices were tantalizing: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, rainbow sherbet, a dozen different kinds of ice pops. After much deliberation, Alex chose a double scoop of mint chocolate chip in a cone. For Buster, a small, plain vanilla cup, a special doggy treat. They returned to their spot, two happy customers. Alex licked the cool, creamy ice cream, savoring the sweet mint and the crunchy chocolate chips. It was melting fast in the afternoon sun, rivulets running down the cone and onto Alex's fingers. It was a race against time, a delicious, messy race. Buster, meanwhile, devoured his vanilla cup with gusto, his little pink tongue working diligently to get every last bit. The sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and purple. The light softened, casting long shadows across the sand. A gentle breeze picked up, rustling the umbrella, which, remarkably, was still standing. Many beachgoers were starting to pack up, their day of sun and fun drawing to a close. Alex watched. The sunset mesmerized. There was something magical about a beach sunset. It felt like a grand finale to a beautiful day. The vibrant colors reflecting on the calm surface of the ocean were breathtaking. Even Buster seemed subdued, sitting quietly by Alex's side, gazing out at the water. "It's beautiful, isn't it, boy?" Alex murmured, scratching Buster behind the ears. Buster responded with a soft sigh, leaning into the touch. With the sun dipping below the horizon, a chill began to creep into the air. It was time to go. The thought brought a pang of sadness. Alex wished the day could last forever, but all good things must come to an end. Packing up was a sandy, slightly melancholic affair. The towel, no longer fluffy, was damp and heavy with sand. The beach chair, coated in a fine layer of grit, was folded away. The cooler was lighter now, emptied of its snacks and drinks. Even the dreaded umbrella seemed less defiant, folding up with relative ease. Perhaps it too was tired after a long day of battling the wind. Alex took one last look at the beach, now bathed in the soft twilight. The waves still whispered. The air still carried the scent of salt. It was a scene that would be etched in memory. "Come on, Buster," Alex said softly. "Time to head home." Buster, usually so energetic, trotted obediently beside Alex, looking a little tired but content. The walk back to the car felt longer than the walk to the beach, perhaps because the anticipation was replaced with the gentle ache of well-used muscles and the slight sting of sun-kissed skin. Despite the diligent sunscreen application, a tiny bit of pinkness was inevitable. The car, which had been baking in the sun all day, was like an oven. Alex quickly rolled down all the windows, letting the cooler evening air flow through. The journey home was much quieter than the journey there. Alex was tired, but it was a good kind of tired. A happy tired. Buster curled up on the passenger seat and was soon fast asleep, letting out little doggy snores. Alex drove, replaying the day's events in their mind. The exhilarating first swim, the cheeky seagull, Buster's frisbee acrobatics, the lopsided sandcastle, the delicious melting ice cream, the stunning sunset. There had been small mishaps, tiny imperfections, but they didn't detract from the overall joy of the day. In fact, they made it more memorable, more real. A perfect day wasn't about everything going according to plan. It was about enjoying the moments, the sunshine, the company, and the simple pleasure of being by the sea. Back home, everything was covered in a fine layer of sand. The car, the beach bag, Alex's hair. Even Buster seemed to be shedding tiny grains of the beach with every movement. There would be sand in the shower drain, sand in the washing machine, sand in unexpected places for days to come. But Alex didn't mind. It was a reminder of a wonderful day. After a long, warm shower to wash away the salt and sand, Alex felt refreshed and deeply content. Buster, after a quick rinse with the garden hose, was already curled up in his bed, dreaming, no doubt of chasing waves and snatching frisbees. Alex made a cup of tea and sat by the window, looking out at the starry night sky. The sounds of the city seemed distant, muted. In Alex's mind, the gentle shush of the waves still lingered. A smile touched Alex's lips. It had been, in every important way, a perfect day at the beach, and Alex knew with a comforting certainty that there would be many more such days to come. But this one, with its own unique blend of sunshine, laughter, and sandy surprises, would always hold a special place. The invitation from that first ray of sunshine, had been well and truly accepted. Key vocabulary, repeated throughout. Beach, a sandy or pebbly shore by the ocean or a lake. Sun, sunshine, the light and heat that come from the sun. Waves, moving ridges of water on the surface of the sea or a lake. Ocean, sea, the vast body of salt water that covers most of the Earth's surface. Sand, tiny grains of rock and minerals found on beaches and in deserts. Swimsuit, a garment worn for swimming. Towel, a piece of absorbent cloth used for drying. Sunscreen, sunblock, a cream or lotion rubbed onto the skin to prevent sunburn. Umbrella, beach umbrella, a device used for protection from the sun or rain, often large and staked into the sand at the beach. Cooler, an insulated box used to keep food and drinks cold. Snacks, small amounts of food eaten between meals. Relax, to rest or do something enjoyable to become less tense. Salty, tasting of or containing salt. Breeze, a gentle wind. Seagull, a bird with long wings and usually white and gray feathers that lives near the sea. Frisbee, a plastic disc that is thrown by spinning it for recreation. Sandcastle, a model of a castle built out of the sand. Ice cream, a sweet, frozen food made from milk or cream. Sunset, the time in the evening when the sun disappears below the horizon. Tide, the regular rise and fall of the level of the sea. Shell, seashell, the hard protective outer case of a marine mollusk. Warm, having. A moderately high temperature. Cool, moderately cold, not warm. Splash, to cause liquid to fly about in drops. Shade, an area that is darker and cooler because it is sheltered from the sun, and that was A Day at the Beach. I hope you enjoyed Alex and Buster's little adventure and picked up some new English words and phrases along the way. Did you catch all that key vocabulary? Rewatch if you need to. Repetition is fantastic for learning. What did you think of the story? Could you relate to Alex's slightly chaotic day? What's your favorite thing to do at the beach or your funniest beach memory? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts and experiences. If you found this story helpful and enjoyable, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. And don't forget to share it with any friends who are also learning English or just love a good story. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Story Driven English and click that notification bell so you can join us for our next story adventure. We have lots more planned to help you learn English the fun way. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, keep learning, keep reading, and keep smiling. Bye for now.